My name's Eli English. I have a shop in Pittsfield, New Hampshire. It's called Traditional Speed and Custom. Well, it all started for me. My grandfather was a collector of Model Ts, and he restored quite a few of them. And I remember probably when I was about 4 or 5 years old riding with my grandparents on a Model T. I actually went to art school and decided school wasn't for me, and then I took a job in a body shop, and I loved it. And I had always had old cars. My first vehicle was a 55 Ford F100. So I kind of started in that direction. I started doing a little bit of hot rod stuff to it. And then I just kind of followed it. Went to work in collision repair, but the whole time was doing side work working on hot rods. And then I went to go work for Jim Lowry's Auto Restoration, which predominantly did really high-end hot rods and restorations. So I worked for him for about 11 years, 10 or 11 years. And then decided to go out on my own because I want to put my own spin on it and kind of use my art background to kind of go in a different direction. Whereas before we were doing really high-end, really high-quality, very highly finished cars, I had a passion for survivor cars. In other words, cars that were barn finds and putting them back together the way that they were. So I kind of went in that direction with it and then kind of built it back up to do the high-end cars as well with kind of an underlying thing of traditional survivor hot rods. Well, hot rodding started really in the late 40s. Basically, when GIs are coming back from World War II, California gets the credit for it for the most part, but it really was happening all over the country. And basically, a hot rod is a stripped down everyday driver vehicle, mainly coupes and roadsters, occasionally sedans, but they were mainly stripped down so they could go fast. They were started as racing on the salt flats was kind of a big thing in the early days of it, and then it kind of morphed into street cars, street racing, and then in the 50s they went to drag racing, and it kind of evolved from there. And it's always been it's a whole subculture really. Well, my shop, we specialize in generally early Ford cars, mainly hot rods. We also do restorations, period correct stuff. We get into some contemporary cars, but I try to mainly stick with early Ford. Basically, we'll do 32s, 33s, 34 Fords, some 36s. And we get into some later, I call it later model stuff, cars like up to like 1959. But for the most part, we stick with the earlier stuff. And I'm a big stickler for early period correct builds. So in other words, we try to use as little reproduction parts as possible. We revitalize original parts and incorporate them into the build. So.